Well, guys, we are here with Sterling Gross uh, from Drum Cubes. This is the CEO and founder of Drum Cubes here. I'm actually going to show you guys a little bit. These are our Drum Cubes here, and later we're going to ask Sterling to give us a little bit of a demonstration of how these work. If Alan's okay with that. Big shout out to Alan from KTOS Creative Academy over here in Fort Worth. For all of your studio recording needs and learning purposes, go ahead and contact Alan over here at KTOS. He's a great guy. Came in clutch today, let us use his location as our backdrop. But Sterling, hey man.
How's it going?
Good, brother, good. I contacted Sterling as one of my first founding guests for Intention Attention. Sterling and I have been friends for, gosh, how long?
A while.
It's been a minute or two. It's been a minute or two.
Several minutes all lumped together.
Yeah. No, it's been great. So contacted Sterling. Was really proud of you, man, for just getting this thing off the ground and going.
Sure.
Initially, I just heard that Sterling had a patent coming out. I didn't know what it was for, and then started seeing the Drum Cubes start popping up on social media and all whatnot. And anytime I see anyone do a startup, it's just impressive. You know, it's just cool to see because I've known you for so long, and to know kind of through a little bit of what what your family's been going through and whatnot, and then coming up with this stuff. It's awesome. It's cool to me to see.
It's fun to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, so I guess you sent me over your bio a little bit, and I thought that was just some of your life stuff, which is really interesting, and some of it I didn't even know.
Yeah.
If you kind of would just go through a little brief, I guess, summary of what your bio was kind of telling me.
Yeah. So just kind of thinking through exactly what of so many stories.
I mean, start with your upbringing a little bit.
Yeah, we really didn't have anything growing up.
Yeah.
I remember my dad being out of work and us not having money for groceries and just other things, and just being not the rich kids, but not homeless.
Yeah.
Close, maybe.
Right.
But never homeless. We grew up in the same house, same phone number, same neighborhood, same school district.
That pleasant middle class thing. Yeah.
Maybe not so pleasant at first, but
it
got better.
Yeah.
It got better. And just never really having much, always doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So even like when I was a kid, I was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I knew sometimes we didn't have any money, so I'd take stuff to school and sell it. I remember we had really young memory. I can't believe I just even remember this, but remember we had these eggs we had to take care of, and if we take care of them, we were going to get like $5. So I was like, well, okay, I'll take care of them for all y'all. You pay me half the cut. And then that way you get the money, I get the money. And so at the end, I walked away with like $20, $30. And I remember like spray painting a house, cardboard thing. So I was like, what, 8, 9?
Yeah.
Already trying to hustle and make some money.
What do you think that came from, that kind of driving force?
Probably from the lack of not having anything.
Yeah.
Thinking, well, everybody else has stuff, so there's got to be a way to do it.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, man, I just remember, even as a kid, man, hustling gum at school, making CDs of everybody's favorite artist. I don't know who was it back then. Hanson.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And selling CDs. It's probably legal, but doing it anyways.
But before pirating really kind of took
back
off.
In the Napster days.
So when was Drum Cubes actually established? When was the patent done and all that kind of stuff?
So we've been talking about it since July of 2017.
Okay.
We're now in January 2018. The legal process, hiring the lawyer, getting the whole thing done, writing out the specifics of what it is, making sure, because there's a long time that the research is, that they'll have to find out, is anybody else doing this product? Does anybody else have this product? Is there any similarities and other things?
Yeah.
And we were a little concerned because, as you know, drums being a huge industry standard since, the early 70s, 60s,
right.
You got your Buddy Rich and your John Bonhams and all these guys. My favorite band back in the day, Genesis, Phil Collins banging on drums.
Right.
And since that time, people would just leave it open. Well, then as music changed, people want to change the sound. And so everyone would take some kind of dampening device and throw it in a pillow, like a pillow or a sheet or a blanket, whatever it is.
Yeah.
To get the sound they're looking for. So we came up with the product kind of on accident.
Okay.
How it got started is I had, and I'm currently working for a company that makes upholstery foam for football teams.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
we just finished out the Baltimore Ravens locker room, which is really cool.
Yeah.
We did Longhorns, being from Texas. We did the Longhorns basketball room. We're currently right now we're doing the SMU soccer team.
Okay.
So we make all these cushions,
Yeah.
right? And then we build the lockers, frame them all in, and all that kind of stuff. And so I took some of the foam home just because it was available.
Right.
I was like, I gotta quiet things down. I have 2 girls. I have a 4-year-old, and the girl's about to be 2.
Yeah.
And they don't sleep when I'm playing the drums. So need something to quiet it down.
Right.
So I tried to glue it, tape it, put it on the wall. It didn't work.
Okay.
I was like, okay, well, let me just make the drums quiet. So I'll just put the foam in the drums, and it didn't work.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I give up. So I'm just kind of cutting them up into little squares, and we were kind of playing with them, my daughter and I, in the house.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second. And it just kind of dawned on me, and I took all these squares, and I tossed them in the drum. And like most drums, it's a large circle
Okay.
with a hole in the front.
Yeah.
Just like the drum set we're sitting in front of right now. And that's called the porthole.
Okay.
And it allows the drum to breathe. And so I just tossed them in there. It took a couple seconds, and then I was kicking on it and stuff, and I was like, this is it. This works.
Yeah.
And so I told my friends and my buddies, and then being a salesman and having a huge sales background, I went to community college to get kind of a sales degree in marketing and business. I was like, okay, I got to sell this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to. I just have to.
So it's really an invention built out of necessity.
It is an invention built out of necessity.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. My necessity and everyone else in the
Right.
world that plays drums.
Right. Right. And
Everyone has the same problem.
And your
I'm
wife's
not the first
sanity.
one.
Your wife's saying.
Well, her sanity, she probably lost it the first day.
Ah, yeah.
Because I actually took all our kitchen knives and was cutting the foam, and most people don't know, but foam has that metallic flakes kind of in it, as they sparkle a little bit, which makes our foam cubes look cool, but dulls the kitchen knives.
Okay.
So I ruined all of them. We'll be seeing a Valentine's present of new
Something.
kitchen knives for my wife probably this year.
Now you said you went to college. Where do you attend college?
So I did TCC for a little while.
Okay, that's great.
And actually felt the need to get involved in ministry.
Okay.
Quit school, started working at a rehab to help other people, and for no pay, it was for hardly anything.
Yeah.
And now I'm currently enrolled in seminary with the North Texas District School of Ministry.
Okay.
Trying to go for my ordination to become a minister.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So, I mean, do you see drum cubes being something that's international and big and blossoming while you're doing ministry, or is that kind of like your side thing? What?
Absolutely. Future goal would definitely to see it already. Well, it's already grown internationally. We shipped to Germany last week. The Netherlands, our first order international was Thailand. I mean, we're going everywhere. We have lots of calls from Mexico.
Yeah.
All in such a short time. I mean, we really have only had the product live on social media.
Yeah.
Or word of mouth for, I would say, 4 months.
Yeah.
Minimal 4 months. Even though the concept happened in July.
Right.
You know,
Right.
It was really the fall when we started launching it.
So, our interview before this with Justin Blevins, we were talking about finding our cue, which my dad always tells us. Instead of taking something from A to Z, you kind of find that cue spot and just put yourself there, which is basically like your niche.
Okay.
So, I mean, definitely you can say that drum cues is probably your niche.
Yeah, for sure. Being somebody that already loves music,
Yeah.
it's something I was going to use anyways,
Correct.
and now I get to share.
Yeah, that's
share with
awesome.
other people.
So let's just talk about the successes and failures that you've probably gone through doing all this
Already,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Oh yeah, I understand. You're probably still going through some learning experiences where
Not today, fortunately.
Hey, that's good.
No failures today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, success is not a linear line. I mean, a lot of twists and turns, ups and downs. I mean, so can you recall a moment where you hit a twist or a turn and you just thought, man, I'm not bouncing back from this? What kind of kept you going?
Sure. Something personally that a lot of people don't realize is that somebody that could be an owner of a company or somebody that could be on top, or even the president of the United States, could struggle with real emotional problems. I struggle with depression a lot,
Yeah, okay.
from day to day, and it's just like, oh, well, screw it, everything's bad, I'm giving up, I'm jumping off the boat, I'm just drowning myself, I'm done,
Yeah.
it's over, I'll just go to a different island. I'm not, sorry to use boat metaphors on you,
no.
but I'm so done with this. And I think the first big problem hasn't really been any of our customers or people interested in the product. Everyone who gets it loves it. People who don't know about it just have questions. Our only feedback that's been negative was just a joke. Somebody trying to be silly.
Yeah.
But our first big problem was we launched a Kickstarter campaign thinking we have the best new Shark Tank idea. No one's thought of this. We're getting the patents on this stuff. We have patents on some additional products that we want to launch very soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Which are still in development, we're working on. And we launched the Kickstarter campaign. I'm thinking, okay, $100,000, unreasonable.
Yeah.
Let's do $7,000. You know, that pays for a couple of trips, a couple of trade shows, allows us to buy a couple months worth of inventory, and we'll be set. Launch the campaign, we get $500 after 30 days, and I'm thinking, oh man.
Yeah.
Like, we've done it.
Right.
We've ruined, okay, apparently nobody wants this. This was a failed idea. This was nothing. It was, what are we going to do now? And so at that time, I was actually talking to a couple of investors who were interested in the product. And I was saying, well, I'm launching this and doing that. And they were like, well, why are you doing that? Just start selling it. So I did. So I was like, okay, fine. And so we bought what little inventory we could afford. We started the company with literally $1,000.
Wow, wow.
Maybe a couple hundred more, but
Yeah.
that's it. You know, so to not have any debt going into it is nice.
Oh, yeah.
We've accumulated some now because everything takes some risk, but you know, yeah, that was the biggest failure at first.
Right.
Just like, man, I guess nobody wanted it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not that people didn't want it, people just don't understand crowdfunding and sourcing, all that kind of stuff, so.
It is, there's definitely a huge learning curve with the crowdfunding, especially. I mean, I've looked at that too for different
Sure.
avenues, and it's a huge learning curve.
And it's not the only one.
Right,
There's-
no.
You have the Indiegogo, you have the
Yeah.
GoFundMe, you have all these other ones that certain niche people in our market would more likely look at that
Right.
than a Kickstarter, which is, you know, usually not typically for music.
Which is cool, what's really cool about what we were just talking about is that you had an expectation going forward.
Yes.
Right. I mean, so many
Millionaire in a week.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
exactly. And so many people have kind of this preconceived notion, expectation whenever they feel like they have something that's new, you know, and exciting, and it's
Sure.
gonna work. And so, for you, that was, hey, Kickstarter is the way to go.
Yep.
This is how I'm gonna do things. This is how I'm gonna make my millions or whatever, you know, get things
Sure.
started. And there was a really simple solution to that, which was, hey, just start.
Get
start-
it in people's hands.
Yeah, just get it out there. Just
Yeah.
get it out there. And
And that's when our business took the turn for the better,
Yeah.
for sure.
absolutely. And for me, what's I've been telling the attention viewers is that
Yeah.
just start something. You know,
Yeah.
just little things each and every day, you know, towards building your goals, towards your dreams, is going to get you where you want to go. And in the
Yeah.
process, you're going to learn so much.
Sure, absolutely.
But I think it's awesome that you went into it with no debt. I mean, that's a huge
Hardly
thing as
any.
well. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had friends and family who were willing to give a little $100 here and there and just kind of, you know, support us. And without them, we wouldn't have our website.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's all family
Yeah. Yeah.
in life. That's what it comes down to. So,
Fear is often a really huge preventative from people stepping out in their giftings, out of their
Mhm.
comfort zone, and doing what they want to do, what they love to do.
yeah.
I mean, so what was something that really helped you kind of step out of that comfort zone and try something new?
For me, when I was going through business school, I read a lot of, you know, Zig Ziglar books, a lot of Brian Tracy. But the book I got that, of course, everybody else got is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And in there, it talks about not being a reactive person, but being a proactive person.
Yeah.
It's like, don't focus on the things that you can't control.
Right.
Focus on the things you can. I can sit all day and argue about, you know, with all my friends and all my family about how Bitcoin is false money and all this kind of stuff. Or I can maybe get involved in something like what's new now in the world, which we were looking at all the time, is cryptocurrency. And the guys who just went ahead and did it,
Yeah.
you know, millionaires.
Right.
You know, and now it might be too late or too early, who knows? But it's just with the company, it's like there's certain things I can't control, like UPS is going to lose my bag. You know, this guy's not going to like it.
Yeah.
I could sit around all day and just be like complain and whine and just just say it's not going to work out. And believe me, if you ask my wife, I've done that
absolutely.
several nights. Just like, it's ruined, it's over, you know.
Yeah.
But I heard, I think it was in the book or somebody was giving a lecture on that book. They were saying, if you just do 3 proactive things a day, what can you do?
Yeah.
Maybe it's admin stuff. Maybe it's social media marketing. You know, back in the day, they had old school marketing. Now we have this wonderful website,
Right.
you know, and this Instagram and Facebook. Instagram's our biggest platform.
Okay.
Without that, we wouldn't have a business, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And just 3 things a day.
Right.
What can I do today?
And something you can all run from your phone too, which is
Yeah.
really crazy. I mean, I think we were talking a little bit before we scheduled this that you run your entire business from your phone.
On one phone.
Yeah, I mean that's nuts. I mean, just something very practical
I
that
don't have a
anyone
computer.
can do. Yeah, that anyone can do.
If somebody wants to donate one, we'll take it at drumcubes.com. You can get our information.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. See,
You do what you can do.
right. Yeah.
I always said something when I worked at the rehab that I worked there for probably 8 years combined, at 2 different facilities, one in New Mexico and one here in Fort Worth. To do more than you can do is impossible. It's literally impossible. You can do 100% of what you're able to do.
Yeah.
And then being a Christian, coming from a background of faith, it said the rest is up to God.
Yeah.
You can only achieve so much.
Yes.
And I don't know, having a dependent mindset and realizing that, you know, I'm not in it all by myself. I think you said fear, and I think the biggest thing with fear is people get afraid and procrastinate. I was listening to an influential podcast person today, and he was saying that people don't just procrastinate because they have a bad work ethic. They're afraid of being alone. I'm all out here by myself trying to do something with no help. I don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
You know, people, and so it has a lot to do with that too, I think.
Right.
And so just going out there.
Taking a step back to the beginning of this, you were saying that, you just really weren't satisfied. You weren't content with the way things were going.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you come from a background where you didn't really have a whole lot.
Sure.
To this spot now where I'm thinking you're in a pretty good position, you know, and especially starting this thing off from the ground. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who is feeling like they're not content, not happy with what they're doing? What kind of advice would you tell them?
To stop complaining immediately. Honestly, something that kept me motivated that probably would resonate with a lot of people is I'm the only person that can offer what I have.
Yeah.
You, sitting in your chair, can't offer the same things that I have.
Right.
And everything that I have is 100% unique to me. And so, starting this out, my personality and being able to communicate with people, when I was in school, people called it ADHD or hyperactive. Nowadays, I call it money because I'm able to talk to people. I have no strangers. Everyone's a friend. Literally the first week, I just went out there. I put myself out there. I said, "This is my product. This is who I am. Here's my cell phone number.
Yeah.
Just call me." You know, I had 2 calls immediately. One was from a guy who I admire. I use his product, even playing the drums. Calls me, and he's a millionaire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just calls my cell phone. So that doesn't sound like loneliness. That sounds like a friend. And give a shout out to Chris over at Big Fat Snare Drum. He's been a big inspiration to us. And he just created a small little simple ring.
Yeah.
It's a plastic thing. You just set it on the drum, and then it sounds perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and so such a cool idea. And then I hang up the phone, and then another owner of a company calls me, literally back to back.
Yeah.
And it's just been like that ever since. People calling me. Right before this interview, I was on the phone with somebody who's making a similar product to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would just say, find people around you. I find people around me that are having the same goals. Here's a guy who could be possibly a competition for me.
Yeah.
But in the 7 Habits book, there's a concept called win-win. And it's like, if we're both sitting on the ground and there's a tree with 5 apples and we can't reach it, you and I are doomed. That's 0-0.
Right.
But if you can sit on my shoulders for a minute and get something, even if I don't get all the ones that I was hoping for, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
And it creates synergy and helps, and so we've been able to cross-promote And I feel like I spend a lot more time promoting other people's products
Yeah,
on a daily basis instead of, hey, buy drum cubes,
Right,
you're
right,
going to
right.
benefit from this. But it's just been great. I mean, people mail me stuff all the time, free
Yeah.
product, and oh man, what you got's going great. And we've given away so much product
Right.
just for free, and I don't even know how we paid for it, but we did. You
Mhm.
know, and it's just trying to get the word out.
That's awesome.
It's about creating friendships. Don't
Right.
do things alone. Just get out there. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I tell my viewers, if the fastest way to climb any kind of career ladder, life
Sure.
ladder, is to have a spirit of gratitude and to help others out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sincerely want to help your fellow man out, you'd be
Sure.
surprised how fast that escalates you in anything that you're doing. So it sounds
Absolutely.
like kind of the
Absolutely.
same thing with any kind of business principle.
And shout out to all the haters in the world. They're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But if I'm building a product, let's just say it's a shoe.
Mm.
Let's just take a shoe concept, and I take the shoe over to Africa, and this tribe for some reason doesn't have shoes. So some guy starts selling shoes, and I get there a month after him, and I say, well, his shoes suck, and all this kind of, and I start ragging on his shoes. Well, what am I devaluing?
Mm.
Shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to sell that. But what
Right.
if I say, hey, he's got this and I've got this. Here's some options.
Yeah.
You know, because nowadays you don't go to Amazon and there's one product.
Exactly.
There's millions.
Right.
And that's options, you know. So being able to win-win with other people has been kind of a lot of our success.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people would have known about us if it weren't for some of the bigger companies mentioning our name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, major drummers and musicians all around the world that just support us. And so
That's
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's our final question, kind of leading out of this. And thank you so much, Sterling,
Absolutely.
for coming in and
Pleasure
taking
to be
time out of
here.
your busy schedule to do this.
Yes.
Man, I really appreciate
No
it.
problem.
If you could have a 1-hour conversation with anyone, living or departed, who would it be and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. The obvious answer should be my wife, love of my life. Let's see.
Yeah, points for that. Points for that. For
Thank you.
Shameless plug. Yeah.
Shameless plug. Marriage forever. Hashtag eternity.
Right. Exactly.
I would really want to talk to Carter Beauford
Mm.
of the Dave Matthews Band.
Okay.
He's just a solid musician. Is an inspiring guy that I look up to. I've played all of his music over and over and over again. Listened to his stuff while I sleep. You know, just kind of. But what he did, I mean, they were the *1 band for the longest time. But what had happened is he was like in a jazz funk band. Here's some random guy, Dave Matthews, singing these weird, you know, he's singing all crazy.
Right.
And they somehow put it together, and they went everywhere making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And, you know, just his technique and his style, a big inspiration made just seeing him from a distance.
Right.
You know, watching them at all their venues and concerts and just like on YouTube. And
Yeah.
I think I would really want to sit down with Carter and be like, okay, man, what made you the way you are?
Mhm.
Why did you even decide to dedicate what I can only seem to think is countless days and hours
Right. Yeah.
to this craft? And yeah, what made you successful? Because yeah, that would probably be the guy.
Right. That's
For
awesome.
sure.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Well, guys, thank you so much for viewing Attention's interview with Sterling Gross, and go check out Drum Cubes. It's awesome. Check out in another video here, we're actually gonna have Sterling do a little demonstration for us. But in the meantime, Sterling, thanks so much, brother.
Thanks for having me.